expert and land developer of residential construction in a family-operated business for over 30 years, and her work has been in American Free Press, many other publications. She's a frequent guest of Dr. Stan Monteith, who's sent her highly recommended, and she's also been on international television for her coverage of Bohemian Grove, issues like depopulation, and this will undoubtedly be one of the first of many interviews we do with her. When she leaves us in about 30 minutes, though, we're going to open the phones up. In fact, we're going to give the number out now for TSA whistleblowers only, because it's been in a bunch of newspapers that the Transportation Security Administration is shopping for a computer program to snoop into the online activities of agency employees, keeping track of their keystrokes and emails for signs of potential leaks, procurement document release, and things like that. So it's all part of trying to stop leaks coming out of the different criminal activities engaged in. So if the TSA would like to whistleblow, we'd love to hear from you. We know a lot of you are people that got into it, and now it's your job, and you don't like what's happening. The toll-free number to join us is 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. We'll get you lined up. You can just call in early if you want. If not, call in later, but we're leaving the phones open for you. Now, Deborah Tavares is an activist, as I just mentioned, a lot of great research, and she joins us to break down some of the research that she's engaged in. But, I mean, if you go back 6-7 years ago when they were first trying to use taxpayer money to put them in California and other areas, it was, oh, don't worry, we won't control your thermostat. We're not going to spy on you. And industry insiders were going, no. This can gauge all your electrical use, and there's switches in all the new appliances that communicate with data down power line, and they're also wireless, and it's going to snoop on you. Well, now they admit it and said, oh, we are going to control what goes on in your house. We are going to control how and where you can set it. So beyond 1984, the CIA section chief, well, now he's the head of the CIA, Petraeus, came out and said, yeah, we're watching you. All the new appliances have chips in them. The headline in Wired magazine was, your washing machine is listening and watching you. I mean, this is what's happening. And so, Deborah, great to have you on with us today. Of course, you can go to refusesmartmeters.com. Or some of the other sites to find out more. Tell us how you woke up to this. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing.
Well, hi, Alex. Yes, thank you so much for having me on. We're in an alert emergency state because what we have right now, and I'm holding up a safe analog meter. And the reason I'm showing that so that your audience understands the difference between the digital and the safe meter. The safe meter looks like a watch with dials on it. You want to retain your safe analog meter at all cost. It is the first device that is going to be put on your homes before they demand that you change out your appliances to all of those with RFID chips in them so they can snoop. This is like inviting a saboteur into the front lines. They're going to be able to monitor everything you do in your home, increase the amperage, turn it up like a thermostat, and be able to tell how you're functioning. This is a global grid. It is so total, absolute, total and complete surveillance, enslavement, and depopulation, because people are now getting sick. About 10 to 15% of the population is getting what they call electrically, magnetically sensitive, and they're getting many consequences from that. This is designed to cause harm. On refusesmartmeter.com, we have a military document. Alex, I forwarded that on to you, and you can put that up on your site as well. You can see that it was designed to cause harm through the electromagnetic frequencies of microwave and radiation. And this is a complete scientific tyranny. This is
now, wait a minute. I mean, they put fluoride in the water that's 7-fold bone cancer in men. I mean, and they put GMO that sterilizes the rats. I mean, they wouldn't want to hurt us. These are nice people.
Well, I can tell you, Alex, right now, unbeknownst to most people, we are in a war of frequencies. And people are getting very, very sick. And the variety of illnesses and the number of illnesses that people are getting are so many that no one would really understand that it is from the electromagnetic.
No, I mean, it's from everything, but you're right. No, I mean, they have mainline studies admitting that. I mean, they knew 30 years ago with cell phones what was happening. The brain tumors are exploding. Continue to break down the smart meters, though, because they admit these spy on you and control your house, control your temperature.
Absolutely, they do. In fact, as you said earlier, CIA admitted that that 1 million square foot data center that they're building in Utah is going to collect everything, and they will be spying on us. There will be cameras in our refrigerators. They said in the New World Order Exposed 1969 that we have on our website, and we advise everybody to look at their documents. They told us they would spy on us. They told us everything that is happening was foretold in those documents. And the Iron Mountain report that's up on our site as well, it's a documentary. You can also read the book. It was hatched in the nuclear survival retreat. Took them 4 years.
And by the way, now confirmed to be real. They now admit that is their plan. Go ahead.
Yes, well, of course, they said then it was a hoax, and people would have believed it was a hoax back then because of the level of deception, deceit, and evil. And they said never ever release it to the American people because it was going to eliminate the Constitution, our Bill of Rights. It was going to take away our guns. Everything that we see happening right now, collapse everything. They are after everything. They want to charge us for the air we breathe and taxes for our exhales. We're here in California. We have jobs fleeing our state right now because of the cap and trade laws that are now being put in place. But I can tell you right now that between the overhead aerial spraying, that the plasma that they're putting up and pumping frequencies into, and the devices of the smart meters on our homes, we are getting frequencies in our environment that our DNA simply cannot tolerate. This is absolutely an insult upon us. It's invisible. They're attacking us with frequencies. We don't see them. We can't taste them or touch them. These are absolutely weapons. We are in a silent war. And this is a life or death battle. They are fully engaged, and we must be fully engaged. As you've said before, Alex, this is Agenda 21, and this will absolutely end everything for all of us, all our freedoms, for all of us, for all times. And under this sustainable agenda, they talk about attaining total monitoring, total measuring, total rationing of everything, all our energy, food, water, housing, transportation, education, absolutely everything. And they base it all on the false lies of needing to reduce our CO2 footprint and reduce CO2 emissions. And when you look at Iron Mountain, you see how they hatched the massive lies of pollution, and they planned it. And it's interesting to see the newsreels in that documentary that were being shown and essentially teaching us what we would end up having to be blamed for. And when I met up with Ted Turner a year ago, he told the whole audience where we were that the global warming is our fault. There's too many people using too much stuff. We're using too much food and too much water. And he went on to say that there will be shortages, massive shortages, and it's going to require depopulation of 95%. 95% depopulation. And then you look at the Wildlands Project map that we have up on our website, and the reason I show that is because they're corralling us into these condensed cities where we're going to have to live, where the electromagnetic and the frequencies are going to get more severe. The many people now that are fleeing the cities to get away from all of the frequencies of the cell phone towers, the smart meters, smart grid, will not be able to get away and out of the cities and free themselves of this attack on their systems. And when you look at who is behind the Wildlands Project map, Ted Turner is one of the foundations behind that. This is a massive land grab. They're going to be disorientating and killing people in their homes. They can amp these frequencies up. This is totalitarian. This is a takeover. And when we were searching the definition of totalitarianism, which is absolute total oppression through technologies, we found a very interesting photograph in a cemetery in Russia. And I forwarded that on to you, Alex. It is a picture of a robot, and it's called the Moloch of totalitarianism. And it is in a cemetery, and it is a memorial to the victims of oppression. And it is absolutely illustrating how they plan to control absolutely everything. They are striving to regulate every aspect of our lives, control the media, the politics, economy.
I agree with you. They say they want to be like God, and they admit Google is NSA. That's why they want RFID in all the products, so they can track everything in real time. And I remember a Baltimore Sun article 10 years ago that admitted that DARPA was already testing through the cell phone frequencies systems to calm or disorient the public. This is all admitted. I've had, with the hundreds of patents, Dr. Begich on, where they had this stuff 30, 40 years ago, and he said, Alex, you're worried about chemicals in the water. He said, they are, listen, I've been allowed to see the UT monkey facility. I was allowed to see video feeds of it years ago from a control system within UT, where they had thousands of monkeys and apes just practicing flicker rates to send different codes at the monkeys. And then McBreen's like, I can't believe you just said that. When I was a teenager in Arizona, we went out in the desert to one of the big monkey labs and actually partway went in and looked through and saw these apes hooked up watching televisions with nothing on them, and we didn't know what it was. So, I mean, my point is they admit they're doing this. It's just giant, huge programs on how to kill us.
Absolutely, and it's all plausible deniability because everybody is going to become sick in different ways. Many people initially are having headaches, inability to sleep, irritability, short-term memory loss, heart palpitations, inflammation. It is an attack on everything about it. It is slicing and dicing our DNA, and it is completely weaponized technology, and they know it. On our site, we also have a scientist, Barry Trower, who breaks down the attack of cell phone towers.
Stay there. Amazing. Stay there. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it is on record that they are using these systems to surveil us. It is on record in hundreds of studies, some of them going back to the 70s, that they know microwave radiation from the cell phones, massive increase in brain tumors. And that's why I try to use hands-free or whatever. The point is, we're still bathed in all of this. And the system loads Trojan horses, in their own words, onto all of this. So you need to be aware of this. At my house, we don't have wireless out in the country. You know, we've done little things like that. We try to put the cell phones away. And you can just literally feel the difference. I think of being out in the country. When you're in a big city or whatever, you're being bombarded by this stuff. When I'm in here in the studio, I'm being bombarded all around me. You know how much stuff comes off one of these TV monitors? And through television, they can fluctuate the pattern and do different things that you can't even see with your eyes. Going back to our guest, Deborah, continue, please.
Yes, Alex, it's very important, and I'm glad that you said in the country, because many, many people believe that if they're down a dusty, long road, they're not going to get a smart meter. Everybody is intended to get a smart meter, and you must refuse. You must not allow this to be attached to your homes. This is a biohazard. They know it. They admit it in their documents. Oh. The military documents show, Alex, that this technology was designed as crowd control. We are the crowd. Everything that is in the Fort Meade military document that is posted on RefuseSmartMeter.com that talks about the effects of this technology and the illnesses is happening. All the EMF sensitive people are experiencing what this military document says this technology would do, and it is doing it. This is a takedown of privacy, and this is a takedown of our health. We must, right now, prevent these meters from being installed on our homes. Now, here in California, we have an opt-out. The reason that we have an opt-out is it was looking horrible that PG&E and Southern California Edison was, as they call it, deploying these meters against people's wishes when they had doctor's letters and they were feeling sick. This is only a media moment. They are deploying thousands of these meters across America, the rest of the world, every single day, despite the fact that people are getting sick and we are being surveilled. This is an attack. This is what we must stop, and we can stop. Everybody can go outside. Their meters are generally located on the outside of their homes, and they need to see if they've got a smart meter. If they don't, or if they question it, you need to call your utility company immediately. Ask them when they are planning to deploy a smart meter in your area and refuse it. Get signs going. We've put signs on our cars. We put signs on our meters. We've been caging up our meters. We do not want a smart meter. And when the utility companies now, they are required to take off people's smart meters here in California and put back on analog meters, they're being stealthily deceptive yet again. They're putting on analog meters that are still compatible to the grid. So I know that through freedomtaker.com, people can order safe analog meters. But first, call your utility company if you do have a smart meter and tell them you need to get it off immediately. And if they won't, then you must do it yourselves. This is where we must say no. This is on our homes, and this is coming over our thresholds. We will lose all of our privacy and our health forever. And I have a technocracy illustration where it shows how technocracy, meaning the takeover of your homes, well, they tell you it's for convenience, and you can go online and read your energy consumption. Absolutely not. They're reading your energy consumption. This is for mass rationing. This is for mass...
By the way, they admit that. I mean, again, people said, oh, you're going to control what's in our house. They immediately said, no, we're not. Now they admit they control your house. They sell you less for more. They also have the new fluorescent light bulbs going in government buildings everywhere where they control the flicker rate to communicate with the computer. That's Associated Press, where data over power line is interfacing with the light bulbs. This is the super technology. Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure, and it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPure. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139. Okay, going back to Deborah Tavares, she joins us now. We're going to have her back up in the next few weeks or so to go over some of these documents, because that way I can go pull them up myself. I've seen all this stuff. I know it's true. In fact, it's so much crazier than we can even imagine. When I've been on syndicated shows, other radio shows I'll mention, oh, yeah, in Minnesota and Texas and other areas, federal grants are putting in light bulbs that flicker and transfer data over power lines to the computers. And people are like, there's no way that's true. And then they look it up and they're like, wow, that's actually true. In fact, just type in, guys, light bulbs communicate with computers, and then you'll see it's been put in. The point is that all of this stuff has backdoor uses. And they are attacking us with it all, and it's become ubiquitous. It's perfect soft kill, plausible deniability, and it's all out of control. It's all out of control, and we need to reverse it. We've only got about 5 minutes left here before we go to the TSA whistleblowers, but I wanted to speak to you about other areas that you're focused on, because you're out there fighting Agenda 21. There's other folks fighting it. People are really starting to wake up to it, but I don't think they realize the full magnitude. I mean, here's a question. Why do you think CNBC has come out, the videos at Infowars.com right now, people need to get this out to everybody, and said, yeah, foreign banks took us over, they run things, we are, quote, slaves to central banks. And then they have the guests all agree, yes, we're slaves, but that's best. I mean, why do you think it's coming out in the open right now?
Well, I think that right now everything is exploding as far as the information. I think that people are, the unfortunate thing, Alex, that I see, because I think we're all frustrated, we use this "they're not awake" theme. But I think that the poisons are now getting to the extent that people are really numbed down. We've got to get the American people off of the Illuminati poisoning. Absolutely every single commercial choice that we make to bring into our homes has a poisonous choice involved with it. And I can say that along with the frequencies, the overhead aerial spraying, many of the things that we cannot stop right now, we need to make immediate choices on our health. And I know you speak to that often. Fluoride, I know that we're running a number of different sites. We have toxicdrinkingwater.org. We have toxicsky.org. I have some excellent interviews up there on every site. We have flyers that people can print off. And we also have a great site. We bought a site into ICLEI, www.iclei.co, I-C-L-E-I. We've rebranded it. Instead of what they say it means, International Council for Local Environmental, we say it means International Criminal Law Eliminating Individuals. So we've got that up there, and it's also under stopthecrime.net, where we have the Cinemix flyers people can download with the ground-up aborted baby fetuses that they're putting in our food supply and in our water. People need to know the level of the horrific toxins and ceremonial aspects of their sick agenda that they have on us. And the frequencies, get these smart meters off your homes. Understand in their documents, the NWO, New World Order exposed plans by insiders. They talk about all of this, the falsified science. They talk about the fact that they think we're stupid. We don't ask the right questions, therefore we're dumb. That they will create laws that will go forward with their agenda. They talk about voice-to-skull communication. This was back in 1969. No wonder no one listened to it. And in the 70s, there was an attack in Medford, Oregon. I found this article yesterday. People were committing suicide, and it was learned that there was frequencies being beamed on these people, and it was coming in on their antenna in their homes. This is
I knew about that case, and we have bubonic plague released on U.S. citizens in New Mexico, U.S. troops killed by nerve gas. We have thousands of cases of foster kids radiated to death. This is the eugenics class. They're testing on us. Now people are committing suicide at record levels. They're drugging people. People are going in on TV everywhere into gibbering messes. People are eating people's faces off who are on the Prozac drugs. I mean, you're right. This is a full-on, total attack. Tyranny has always tried to take over and always fails in the end. Now they're using every science they've got to do it.
They know exactly what they are doing. And I can tell you that the utilities have signed on to UN Agenda 21. PG&E and Edison here in California are partnered up with ICLEI. So they have already signed off, and they're not operating under our state constitution. Their whole entire business model is under the guise to reduce our carbon footprint. Everyone that's listening, you check and see if your utility company is under the same lead as well. This is just an absolute takeover under the guise of false science. Also, there's no UL approval. That means that the Underwriters Lab confirms that the meters have not been safety tested. They are raising fire concerns. We've had a number of fires. I want to throw this in quickly, Alex. Landlords that have multiple units, that have multiple meters on building walls, those units, you must disclose to your tenants that they are potentially hazardous, because those units are being bathed not only with the radiation from the meters, but also from what they call dirty electricity. Go on to our site. Understand that the intensified electricity that's bleeding onto our power lines into the walls of our homes actually, in a layman's terms, leaps off of the wires into our homes, into everything metal, our box spring mattresses, our metal glasses, women's underwire bras. Everything is becoming an antenna, and we are being radiated. So you must absolutely not allow these meters onto your homes. That is the first line of defense right now, because as they continue to campaign for our takeover, they will know where you are in your home. They will require that you put in RFID chipped appliances, because they have infrequent bursts of delivery to our current appliances. They can take down our appliances now, and they know that. And
by the way, let me tell people when that actually happens. Whenever you have your cell phone by computers or electronics, and it's even off sometimes, you'll hear a ding, 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 ding. That is the admitted cell phone GPS ping. Also, when the government's been listening to me, my phone will turn on by itself, get red, get super hot. The power runs down real quick, and people are like, they're not listening. Oh, yeah, they call up and go, I was just listening to you talking to your wife. We're going to get you. Point is, they even do that occasionally. It's kind of fun. Gives me a lot of energy when they do that. Just confirms everything I'm doing is right. But, yes, this is real. This is all really happening. Here it is. Ceiling lights in Minnesota send codes and data. Here's another one. And again, I'm looking for the Associated Press article where it went in the police stations. All this stuff's like 2-3 years old, what I'm finding. But I've been showing folks that are watching on TV. Just type in high-tech light bulbs, communicate with your computer. I mean, this is the total control grid. Thank you so much for spending time with us, Deborah. Look forward to speaking to you again in the future. RefuseSmartMeters.com. Find all the sites right there. Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the sites, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.